Hey guys, we got this 2017 International HX620 and the blower motor stopped working on it. I guess I had blower motor replaced 2 years ago. So we're gonna do some testing, see if it does need the blower motor or if it's wiring or fuses or whatever. The fuse panel is located behind this glove box tray assembly. There's a handle like just underneath it here, and it's literally just clips. You can just pull this whole thing out and the fuse block is right behind there. I'm gonna go right for the blower motor. The driver already checked the fuse, said it was good. So looks like we've got 4 bolts holding the seat down. It's a really basic seat, not much to it. I'm gonna get you some socket sizes, and you're also gonna need a Torx bit for the seat belt itself. So there's not only the main seat belt that goes around the passenger, but there's also another short seat belt that ties the, I guess, belt that's part of the frame to the actual cab, and you can see it there just in the back. So I'm gonna go get some sockets and let you know what sizes you're gonna need. All right, 14 millimeter bolts. There's 4 of them. This seat actually only has 3. I think the last guy that changed it left them out. So let's get these out. Okay, seats out. By the way, there's a cover that sits in front of here, and there's just 2 push pin clips. You just pop the senator out of them, and then this piece just comes off. So we got this thing loose now. We kind of like move it out of the road a little bit so we can get to this. It sort of sits, the bolt would back into this if we don't move this forward. So now we got that moved forward. I'm just gonna see what size this is. Yeah, it's this size here, T50. T50 Torx. See if I can get into that. Ooh. Just barely. That was risky.
Maybe get a wobble.
Risky, but we did it, yeah. Or do it by hand or something like that. Okay, now we can get our seat out. Maybe. No, there's another one on the other side too. All right, there's another strap that ties the seat to the firewall on the other side. Same thing. Take that thing out. Put that one through this way. Fuck. Ready? Very good, very good. Get this gun out of here. I don't know if that's supposed to be a bolt right there. I expected it to be a Torx, but it's a bolt. So now we can get this seat the heck out of here. Can we get it out? Yes, we can. Cool, so we got this thing out now. It's just a little plastic tray for your trinkets and cups and all that other stuff. They're 13 mil, I'm gonna guess. Looks like about the size, so in our socket. Okay, these might be 12 mil or 1/2 inch. I don't know. I'm using a 13. It's working. Can you pass me that swivel? Can we get it? Like a boss. Oh, there's one more in the back corner. Okay, now we can get this thing out of here maybe. Yeah. Ooh. All right guys, we have the cover off now. Here's our blower motor. You will notice too that we have a couple small radiators. Now one of them is for heat and one of them is for air conditioning. I don't know what one's what, but I did notice that there was a bunch of stuff all stuck in the fins on this one. Obviously, the blower motor pulls air in from this location through that grill that we removed off at the very front. So all the dust and dirt and stuff like that goes right into this. There's a pre-filter, that's that blue thing right there. It's supposed to catch all the dust and stuff like that, but I'm sure a bunch of it gets through, and I'm sure this box isn't completely sealed. I see there's like a duct work that runs underneath the floor there, and it looks pretty dusty and dirty, so maybe it's pulling, I don't know, maybe that's the duct work that runs up the vents, I don't know. Either which way, let's get this blower motor tested. We gotta find our plug for it. I see we got an orange and black wire that goes right to the motor. So I'm just gonna take a look and see. I would imagine it's a 12-volt system. Most of the stuff is. And I'm gonna get my power probe out, and we're just gonna actually just feed it 12 volts, see if it turns on. And yeah, that doesn't look very good, does it? Nope. All right, so trusty cameraman found out that this wire just completely rotted off. It's a mix of corrosion from moisture intrusion, and also it's pretty crispy, so it's definitely gotten hot. And that's usually what happens. You get, anytime you get corrosion in the system, it adds resistance to that wire, and anytime you get resistance, it drives the heat up. It's got to pull more amperage through a smaller wire. The heat goes up, cooks the wire. No good. I see this a lot with blower motors. The wiring, usually the connector's melted. So I think what I'm gonna do is pull that connector apart. We'll pull that blower motor right out of there and see if I can fix this thing up nice. We'll get this thing ready to rock and roll for the driver tomorrow morning. All right, so I got myself some wire. Now, I was gonna pull the blower motor out of this, but it looks like a real pain. So I'm gonna fix it instead. Sorry if you're trying to replace yours, that sucks. I will show you a couple things though. This is your blower motor resistor. So if your blower motor only works on high, chances are this thing's screwed. It's a good indicator. If you do want to change your blower motor, it looks like there's a Phillips screw in the front, and then also it looks like this has to move. This is your blend door actuator, so it pushes this rod when you choose whether you want face or feet or defrost to move a door to direct airflow to actually it might be a temperature blend door. That's what it is. It should changes from hot to cold, or mixes both of them. Yeah, I'm just gonna fix this thing. I'm gonna cut these wires back. This corrosion has probably wicked back the harness a little bit, so we're just gonna go ahead and chop it off down a ways and inspect this wire. We'll see what it looks like. Beautiful, nice and clean. I don't got nothing on there. A lot of times we get corrosion. If it's been on there long enough, it'll wick its way down the harness. So that's good. And I'm gonna cut this other one. I'm gonna get rid of the plug. I don't have a plug that's suitable for the amount of amperage that this thing draws. So I'm actually just gonna hardwire it. And that's all right. This truck belongs to our company, so if anybody's got to fix it, it's got to come back to me. So not a big deal. If we need to change the blower motor in the future, I'll just cut the wiring. Push that out of the way so that it doesn't get in my road of the flame. Gonna heat shrink this bad boy down until the glue comes out. Gotta use the heat shrink with the glue, man. If you're using butt connectors, I'm ashamed. I mean, you should be ashamed. That's what I meant to say. All right, one done. We're gonna extend the other one. I'm gonna use this blue wire. I was just saying, should I just make them both the same color? This video is sponsored by Monster. I'm just kidding, it's not. But we're gonna be taping up this harness here. I've got them heat shrinked on there. And I use same gauge wire. Obviously we got, it's kind of funny, the harness that comes out of the cab, the wire is a bigger gauge than the actual electric motor, which is good. But Now I'm going to be using some of this, and I'll probably just do some electrical tape around there, make it all pretty and super protected, because yeah, I don't want anything like arcing out, shorting out. Also protects from heat. I imagine that motor probably gets pretty hot, plus all the heat from the heater core right in there. So we're gonna make it look all nice and tucked away, and then we can start putting this thing back together. Do the old Pearson probe test. We got 12.79 volts. That's our power. Let's go to white. Sorry, I'll get my meter up here so you can see. Now I have the other end of my meter connected to ground right now. So should have nothing. I'm going to switch my meter to positive, which then should go through ground and give me 12.7 volts.
Yeah.
Which confirms that my power and my ground are good and the motor's bad. That really sucks. Sometimes too, like I was saying, besides the corrosion, if a blower motor, if the motor itself is going bad, it'll draw an excessive amount of amperage and burn the connector. It'll literally melt the connector. So it just sucks that it was also corroded and like pretty crispy. So this is probably a brushed motor, and I bet you the brushes are worn out in it, but guess I have to take the friggin' thing out, don't I? Any error. All right, so we're taking, there's 3 nuts that hold this actuator in place. It holds the bracket. So there's 10 mil, or actually I think they're 3/8, but 10 mil works. So I'm gonna take these nuts off, move this bracket out of the road, undo the stuff, get this off. Got maybe some 8s or 7s. 8 mil. One there. There should be another one on the bottom, but this one appears to be missing. And then it looks like we got a Phillips out here. Oh, we're still in there somehow. Please don't strip. That's her, ladies. Boom. Shakalaka. Okay, we got a bunch of screws on the back side of this thing now. All Phillips. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we got this thing out. Now there's a tension clip on the end of this thing, and the squirrel cage, that's this piece here, gets pressed onto the shaft of the motor. So it'll be, what I'm gonna do is just chop this, unfortunately. And I'm gonna bring it to the bench, and we'll see what we can do with it in the meantime. That, like, this is like part, it's like riveted in. Crazy. Okay, so to take this thing out, fairly simple. We remove this thing, just comes off, pair of pliers. We did spray some penetrating oil in there just to hopefully give it a little bit of lubrication and not bite so much. But you can see there's 2 slits that are on the side of that. That's just to relieve the tension. And then I just gave it a couple smacks without the punch until it pretty much went level. And then I had my assistant here hold the squirrel cage while I drove it the rest of the way through with the hammer punch. So this one is pretty much the same thing. It's just like a press fit. It's kind of, this sucks. This is out of actually a 2006 Ford Focus. And the squirrel cages themselves are actually almost the same. Just like this little ring is like the difference in height. The diameter though, pretty much bang on, which is wild. So how that happens, don't know. Probably the same manufacturer that makes them. anyhow, there's a motor inside of there. And I was just curious if there was any possibility of removing this and somehow swapping it in there, you know? All right, well, this one was so seized on there that we ended up damaging it trying to get the thing off. So yeah, just go buy a new motor. You can get them online for like 150 bucks if you look around. I don't know how much they are from International. I'm sure they want 600 bucks or something absolutely outrageous. So that's pretty much, I guess, it for this video on how to remove it. So got any questions, throw them in the comments below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and we'll catch you in the next one. All right, so this is what I did here. I've got a crimp on that brush, just the cable. It's ripped in half. Don't know why, but it did. Now, to keep the brushes back in their spring-loaded slots in the slides, I just cut a can and slipped it up in there. Otherwise, you're fighting the brushes, right? It's a real pain. So it's possible, I guess, that the armature probably, I'm guessing it possibly cut that wire, maybe. It's a possibility. I'm not too sure. So I'm gonna put this thing back together, see if it runs. Okay, I've got everything all cleaned up, put back together, ready to go. Just gonna check this thing. Yep. All right, that confirms that it's gonna run. Hopefully that thing will last at least 2 more days till we get another one.